What if I told you that almost everything you think about modern life, success, productivity, happiness, is basically a giant illusion? Yeah, like that magic trick where the rabbit disappears, except this one controls how we live, work, and stress out every single day. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the kicker: once you see through this illusion, your whole approach to life can change, making things simpler, less stressful, and way more fun. Ready to pull back the curtain and see the truth behind the chaos? Let's dive in. Alright, let's get real for a minute. If you're watching this, chances are you've felt that weird mix of being super busy but somehow not really getting anywhere. Like you wake up with a to-do list longer than a grocery receipt, and by the end of the day, you're exhausted but still feel like you didn't accomplish the important stuff. Sound familiar? Maybe you've tried those classic tips: wake up earlier, hustle harder, grind non-stop, and honestly, they just made you feel more tired and overwhelmed. Or maybe you're juggling a million tabs open in your brain, and on your computer, trying to do 5 things at once but ending up frustrated because nothing gets your full attention. You want to be productive. You want to learn new skills, improve your life, maybe even feel proud of how you spend your time. But instead, it feels like you're stuck in a loop of busy, busy, busy with no real results to show for it. And it's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. Nope. You're actually working hard, too hard, maybe, and society's endless noise about grind harder only makes it worse. You want freedom from the stress, clarity in your goals, and maybe just a little peace of mind. You want to feel like you're in control of your life, not controlled by some invisible pressure to do more, be more, have more. If this sounds like you, don't worry, you're definitely not alone. In fact, most people are trapped in this exact same illusion without even realizing it. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. Alright, now that we've nailed down how you're feeling, let's talk about the biggest mistake almost everyone makes when trying to fix this whole busy but stuck situation. Spoiler alert, the mistake is thinking the problem is you. Yeah, you've probably heard a ton of advice like, you just need to hustle harder, or wake up at 5 a.m. and conquer the world, or if you're not grinding every minute, you're lazy. Sound familiar? It's like the universe, and every productivity guru on Instagram, is screaming, just work more, do more, be more. And when you don't, somehow it feels like you're failing. But here's the catch: this advice is mostly nonsense dressed up as wisdom. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet by painting the bathroom walls. Sure, it looks better, but the leak is still there. Take multitasking, for example. We're all proud of it, right? Look at me, I'm replying to emails while cooking dinner and listening to a podcast. Cool story, but science says multitasking is actually a productivity vampire. Every time you switch between tasks, your brain needs a moment to reboot. That quick email turns into 10 minutes of confusion, and suddenly you're wondering why you walked into the kitchen in the first place. Then there's hustle culture. You know, the one where people brag about working 16-hour days with no sleep and a side of cold showers for grit. But most of us don't turn into billionaires overnight, we just turn into tired, cranky versions of ourselves who binge-watch Netflix while eating chips out of the bag. Why? Because the whole system is set up to keep you chasing an illusion, the illusion that doing more means achieving more. But more busy work often means less actual progress. It's like running on a treadmill that's going faster and faster. No matter how fast you run, you're still in the same spot. So the real mistake? Listening to advice that makes you hustle harder on the wrong treadmill. Here's the truth nobody really talks about: all that hustling and chasing isn't really about the tasks or the goals themselves. Deep down, what you're really after is something way simpler, and way more important. You want freedom. Freedom to decide how you spend your time without feeling guilty. Confidence that you're good enough without needing to prove it to everyone. Respect, from others, but mostly from yourself. And peace of mind, the kind where you're not constantly stressed, anxious, or running on empty. All those endless to-dos and self-improvement hacks? They're just attempts to get closer to that feeling. But society tricks us into thinking we have to earn it by grinding harder. The reality? You already have what you want inside you. You just need to see through the illusion and tap into it. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover. 5. Alright, now for the juicy part, the heart of this whole thing. The giant illusion that modern society is built on? It boils down to one simple but sneaky mix-up. We confuse being busy with being productive. And doing more with actually achieving more. Sounds obvious when you say it out loud, but we're hardwired to fall into this trap every single day. Let me explain. Imagine your life as a giant pizza. When you're busy, it's like you're chopping the pizza into a million tiny slices, trying to eat them all at once. It feels like you're doing a lot, but you're really just nibbling on crumbs. Meanwhile, being productive is about slicing the pizza into a few big, satisfying pieces and actually enjoying each bite. In other words, busyness often looks like spinning your wheels, lots of motion, very little forward movement. Here's the kicker: society loves the illusion of busyness. Being busy is like wearing a shiny badge that screams, "Look at me. I'm important. I'm working hard." So, people fill their days with shallow tasks, replying to emails, hopping between meetings, scrolling social media for research, and pretending that all this noise equals progress. But it doesn't. Let's get nerdy for a sec. Your brain isn't a multitasking machine. It's more like a spotlight that can only shine brightly on one thing at a time. When you jump between tasks, you have to refocus your spotlight, and guess what? Every switch wastes time and mental energy. That's why multitasking is basically the productivity version of trying to juggle flaming swords while riding a unicycle. Sure, it looks impressive, but you'll probably drop something, and maybe yourself too. And yet, we keep buying into the myth that multitasking is a superpower, especially in a world that praises hustle culture. You know, the wake up at 4 a.m., skip lunch, work till midnight kind of advice that sounds motivating but often leaves us burnt out and cranky. Why? Because the illusion that doing more equals achieving more is exactly that, an illusion. Let me give you a story. Imagine two people with identical goals. One spends all day bouncing between 10 small tasks, answering emails, attending meetings, checking notifications. The other picks the single most important task and focuses on it until it's done. Who do you think gets further? Spoiler, the second person. This is where the whole busy equals important mindset starts to crack. The reality is that focus is your secret weapon. Instead of drowning in a sea of small, unimportant tasks, real progress comes from choosing what truly matters and giving it your full attention. Think about your phone for a second. When you open too many apps at once, it slows down, crashes, or overheats, right? Your brain works the same way. Overload it with distractions, and you burn out or freeze. Now, here's the practical twist. Stop glorifying busyness. Just because your calendar is packed doesn't mean you're winning. Sometimes, it means you need to hit the brakes, prioritize ruthlessly. Ask yourself, if I could only do one thing today, what would actually move me forward? Then do that one thing well. Single task like a pro. Yes, it's the opposite of what your inbox and social media tell you, but focusing on one task fully beats juggling 5 half-done ones. Build rest into your routine. It's not lazy, it's smart. Your brain needs downtime to recharge and work at its best. Question the more is better trap. Adding tasks just for the sake of looking busy is like piling junk on your desk. You lose track of what's really important. To put it another way, imagine your day as a flashlight beam. When you multitask, it's like waving that beam all over the place. Everything is kind of lit, but nothing's clear. When you focus, it's like pointing that beam steadily on one spot. Everything you need to see is crystal clear. So, the main principle here is this. Stop trying to do everything, and start doing what matters, really matters, with your full attention. Once you do this, you'll notice something wild. Time feels less frantic, progress feels steady, and, here's the kicker, your stress levels drop because you're not drowning in meaningless busywork. Plus, your brain loves it. It's happier, sharper, and less overwhelmed. This shift isn't just a productivity hack. It's a mindset change that rewires how you see your day, your work, and your life. It's about choosing clarity over chaos. And yes, it might feel weird at first, like wearing a quiet pair of shoes in a world full of noisy sneakers, but give it a chance. Your future self will thank you. Alright, let me tell you about my friend Mike. Mike's a classic busy bee. Every morning, his phone buzzes like it's on fire, emails, texts, social media notifications all screaming for attention. He prides himself on juggling a million things at once. Look at me, he says, I'm a productivity ninja. One day, Mike invites me over for coffee. He's sitting at his desk, 5 browser tabs open, phone in one hand, half-eaten sandwich in the other, and a notepad full of random ideas. He's typing, scrolling, checking messages, looking like a man about to launch a rocket. I watch for a moment and say, "Dude, what's the plan here?" He laughs nervously. "I'm just getting through my list, you know?" "Yeah, but you're bouncing around like a pinball. When do you actually focus on anything?" Mike shrugs. "I don't have time to focus. If I stop, the whole day's wasted." So I challenge him, try this. Close everything except one tab, set a timer for 25 minutes, and just work on one thing. No phone. No distractions. He looks skeptical but gives it a shot. 25 minutes later, Mike is shocked. He actually finished a task that's been haunting him for weeks. And guess what? He didn't feel the urge to check his phone once. He even finished early and leaned back, looking amazed. "Wait, so focusing on one thing actually works?" he says, eyes wide. "Welcome to the secret club," I say, grinning. From that day on, Mike starts building focus time into his day. His stress drops, his to-do list shrinks, and somehow, he has time to eat a full sandwich without multitasking. Moral of the story? You don't have to be a busy ninja. Sometimes, slowing down and focusing is the real superpower. Alright, enough talk, let's get practical. Here's how you can start breaking free from the busy but stuck trap today. 1. Pick one task and commit. Seriously, just one. Close all other tabs, put your phone on silent, yes, really, and focus solely on that task. Treat it like it's the only thing that matters for the next 25 minutes. 2. Try the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Rinse and repeat. It's like interval training for your brain, keeps you sharp without burning out. 3. Say no more often. That extra meeting, the random quick chat, or scrolling through social media. Politely pass. Your time is valuable, and protecting it is your new superpower. 4. Build and rest in recovery. Taking breaks, naps, or even a quick walk isn't laziness. It's giving your brain the fuel it needs to work better when you're back at it. 5. Reflect daily. At the end of the day, ask yourself, did I focus on what really mattered? If not, adjust your game plan for tomorrow. 6. Limit distractions. Turn off unnecessary notifications and set clear boundaries, your brain will thank you. These steps aren't about working harder or squeezing in more. They're about working smarter and reclaiming your time. Remember, it's better to do fewer things well than a million things poorly. Give this a try tomorrow and see how much smoother your day feels. Okay, here's a neat little trick to help you remember this whole focus over busy thing. Picture your brain as a flashlight. When you multitask, it's like waving that flashlight around wildly, everything's kinda lit up, but nothing's really clear. You might see a squirrel, a tree, or a squirrel on a tree, but it's all fuzzy and confusing. Now, when you focus on one task, it's like pointing that flashlight steadily on a single spot. Everything in that beam is crystal clear, sharp, and easy to see. So next time you catch yourself trying to do 10 things at once, imagine grabbing your flashlight and deciding where to shine it. Ask yourself, where do I want my light right now? Then lock onto that. Bonus, give your flashlight a name. Mine's Sherlock. Because when I focus, I'm solving mysteries instead of chasing distractions. Try this visualization whenever your brain feels overloaded or scattered. It's a fun mental cue that reminds you to stop the chaos and shine a steady light on what really matters. And hey, it's way easier than trying to juggle flaming swords. Trust me. So, what's the big takeaway here? Modern society tricks us into thinking that being busy means we're winning, but really, it's just a flashy illusion designed to keep us running in circles. The real power comes from choosing focus over frenzy, quality over quantity, and clarity over chaos. Like our friend Mike discovered, slowing down and focusing on one thing at a time doesn't just help you get stuff done, it actually makes life less stressful and way more satisfying. Remember, you don't have to do it all at once. You just need to do the right thing at the right time, and give yourself permission to breathe. If this video gave you even one little aha moment, I'd love for you to subscribe so we can keep busting these illusions together. And hey, why not check out the next video? Let's keep leveling up your brain hacks and life skills. Thanks for hanging out with me, catch you in the next one.